1 month. A team of 4 people. Their AI bill? $113,000. Not a fine, not a hack, a regular invoice from an AI provider. The startup is called Swan AI. They posted that invoice themselves, proudly, like a flex. Look how hard we're pushing on AI. That's more than it costs to run a whole engineering team for a year. For 4 people. I stared at that number for a while. Because for the past year, companies have been cutting jobs under the same pitch. AI is cheaper. It doesn't get sick, it doesn't take vacation, it scales forever. Cut the salaries, keep the output, save the money. On paper, the math looked clean.
What follows isn't one weird startup. 3 companies, 3 different scales. The same experiment run for real. And at all 3, the bill after the layoffs didn't look anything like the slide deck promised. Uber, R&D budget $3.4 billion. One of the best funded tech companies on the planet. In December, the company gave roughly 5,000 engineers access to Claude Code, an AI coding agent. By mid-April, the entire annual budget for these tools was gone in 4 months. This wasn't the product using AI at scale. It was engineers in their day-to-day work. One person's bill, $500 to $2,000 a month. Multiply that by 5,000. And that's not an accident. Inside Uber, employees were literally ranked on internal leaderboards. The more you use these tools, the higher you climbed. The company drove the usage itself, then acted surprised by the bill. Uber's COO said it outright. There's no clear link between that spending and any real product improvement. In his own words, the company can't draw a line from rising token costs to even a 25% increase in useful features for users. Uber's answer? A cap of $1,500 per employee per month. So the company that encouraged unrestrained AI use is now manually breaking the exact thing it revved up. Microsoft went even wider. Access to the same tool went not just to developers, but to product managers, designers, even non-technical staff. The pricing model? Pay per token, metered by actual use. No ceiling. The budget burned just as fast. By the end of June, most of the licenses get cut off. Separately, don't confuse this with the Microsoft story. Another company, unnamed, spent $500 million in a single month on the same class of AI tools. The reason is almost funny. Nobody set a usage limit for employees. Here's the technical reason why. The process of actually running the model, not training it, just answering each of your requests, eats up, by industry estimates, 55 to 80% of a company's entire AI budget. Token usage among heavy users jumped roughly 50 times in a year, and the compute providers, AWS, Google, raised inference prices 15 to 100% in recent months. Put simply, the free trial period for AI is over. Companies are only now getting the real invoice. NVIDIA's VP of Applied Deep Learning, Brian Catanzaro, said it plainly in late April. Quote, "For my team, the cost of compute is far beyond the cost of the employees." End quote. That's not a critic on the outside. That's someone inside the company that profits most from selling that exact compute.
But it's not just that AI got more expensive. It got more expensive, and it still needs a human standing next to it. One AI agent handling complex tasks costs a company roughly $100,000 a year to run. That's a mid-level engineer's salary. The difference is, you still have to check the agent's work. Independent tests from Salesforce, Carnegie Mellon, Patronus AI show these agents get a complex, multi-step task right only 35 to 58% of the time. So
there was no replacement. There's a second employee now. Fast, never sleeps, wrong almost half the time, and a human still checks its work.
Klarna, 2024, around 700 support staff laid off. The chatbot took over 2/3 of all inquiries, closing them out in under 2 minutes, and the company openly called it human equivalent quality. Fast forward, 2025, 2026, customer satisfaction on anything even slightly more complex than a routine question dropped. Klarna is quietly hiring people back. Not like before, a hybrid. AI takes the routine volume, humans take the escalations and the calls that need judgment, not a script. Klarna's own CEO admitted it publicly. Cost ended up being too dominant a factor in that decision, and what came out the other end was lower quality. Not a competitor saying that, not a journalist. The CEO of the company that a year and a half earlier was publicly proud of replacing people with a bot. IBM went down a similar road.
Forrester surveyed exactly the companies that cut staff for AI. 55% admit the decision was a mistake. Of those, 74% see the quality of what they shipped dropped noticeably. Customers felt it. This pattern already has a name in industry coverage: the boomerang. Companies quietly bringing back the people they let go. Except the people who got cut in that first round didn't get a year and a half to reconsider. They needed rent money before the company's quarterly numbers came back bad. That gap hasn't gone anywhere. The company gets time to admit its mistake. The laid-off worker doesn't. There's no clean answer to that, and there won't be one. What's clearly changing in value right now isn't tokens, it's people who know how to work alongside AI instead of leaning on it entirely. So who wins, regardless of whether the AI bet pays off for any single company? The 5 biggest cloud infrastructure providers, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Oracle, will spend somewhere around $700 to $765 billion combined on AI infrastructure this year. Whoever sold the compute to Uber, to Microsoft, to Swan AI, and to that company with the $500 million bill gets paid either way. That's exactly the position NVIDIA's own VP was describing. And here's the part that breaks the intuition. The discount era is ending. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and Meta priced inference below cost for almost 2 years, buying market share with investor money. That's already unwinding. In April 2026, Anthropic moved enterprise customers from flat-rate plans to usage-based billing, and GitHub Copilot followed a couple of weeks later. Analysts estimate that once prices settle at real cost, enterprise AI bills could climb another 30 to 50% on top of where they already are.
Meanwhile, the price per token really did fall. By the venture fund A16Z's count, somewhere between 280 and 1,000 times over the last 2 to 3 years. And in that same window, total enterprise AI spending rose roughly 320%. A cheaper token didn't lower anyone's bill. It just made it rational to burn a lot more of them. This effect has a name from the 19th century, from the history of coal engines: Jevons paradox. Rising efficiency doesn't shrink consumption, it multiplies it. Tokens aren't a cloud in the metaphorical sense. They're specific data centers, pulling specific electricity off a specific grid in a specific region. Gartner projects that global data center electricity demand will double by 2030. In the US alone, AI could account for roughly 1/5 of the country's total electricity use by then. That's not an abstract line on a corporate balance sheet anymore. That's the transformer down your street. That's whatever a regional regulator decides once a data center moves into the county and the price per kilowatt hour starts climbing. The final referee for whose electric bill absorbs that difference is government, through rates, subsidies, regulatory decisions. And that bill isn't abstract. Doubling electricity demand by 2030 isn't about Uber, and it isn't about Microsoft. It's about what a kilowatt hour costs in your home.
if someone decides to build the next data center near your city.
So if you have a job right now, or you're looking for one, here's the part that actually lands on you. MIT's own modeling, specifically on tasks tied to computer vision, not every job out there, found that automating with AI is economically worthwhile for only about 23% of those tasks. For the large majority of what the researchers studied, a human is still cheaper right now at today's compute prices. That's why the layoff wave and the rehiring wave exist at the same time, and both are true. It's not that AI can't do parts of the job, it's that the honest math on the swap is still catching up to the slide deck promise, and companies are finding that out one invoice at a time.
The invoices have already landed. This isn't a forecast. Swan AI, Uber, Microsoft, the company with the $500 million bill, all of it already happened. If the trend holds, and that's an assumption, not a fact, the discount era ends. Real prices show up in full, and more companies quietly rehire the people they let go, the way Klarna and IBM already have. And the truly long bill doesn't close at all. Even if the per unit cost of AI keeps falling, Jevons paradox says total consumption and the electricity and infrastructure behind it keeps rising. The argument just moves to a bigger scale, from one company's finance department to an entire country's power grid.
By KPMG's own 2026 survey, only 26% of companies can see in real time exactly what they're spending on AI while they're spending it. Most find out the same way Swan AI, Uber, and Microsoft did, after the invoice lands, not before. The exact same math that just wiped out a 4-person startup's monthly budget is running right now at the scale of an entire country's power grid. And that number is on your screen right now.